In a far-off galaxy, on a planet called Elysium, the sky shimmered in hues of violet and gold. The people of Elysium lived in harmony with nature and had a deep connection to every creature that inhabited their world. They were peaceful and lived collectively, sharing their knowledge and resources. The Elysian people believed that all living beings had a purpose and should be treated with respect. One day, a large spaceship descended from the sky, disrupting the calm of Elysium. It bore the marks of the Federation, a powerful group of beings who traveled the galaxy and made contact with other worlds to claim resources and establish dominance. The Federation had heard stories about Elysium and its unique flora and fauna. They viewed the Elysians as primitive and thought they had little to offer beyond their rare plants. Captain Artus, the leader of the Federation team, stepped out of the ship with a mix of curiosity and disdain. He was followed by a group of advanced beings, all equipped with technology that glowed and hummed. They looked at the Elysians, who stood in a welcoming circle, their hands open and eyes shining with wonder. "Why do you live like this?" Artus asked, looking around at the simple homes made of wood and stone. "Surely, you can see the advantages of using technology. It would make your lives so much easier." An elder named Orin approached the captain. "We live simply because we believe in balance. Technology can help, but it can also destroy. We choose kindness over dominance." The Federation team exchanged glances, some smirking at what they perceived as naive philosophy. Captain Artus chuckled and said, "Well, we have much to show you about progress and power. But we need to assess what you have here first." The Elysians led the Federation members around their lush world, showing them their gardens, wildlife, and the harmony with nature that defined their society. The Federation team scanned the flowers and plants, taking notes on their uses, showing more interest in how they could exploit them than in their beauty. As the day wore on, Artus grew impatient. "Show us something impressive. Show us a creature that you've tamed. Something that could serve us." Orin hesitated but then agreed to show them their greatest protector, a gigantic creature known as the Raxer. It was a creature that roamed the skies of Elysium, fierce and powerful, yet gentle when approached by the Elysians who cared for it. The Raxer had shimmering wings that reflected sunlight like diamonds. As they approached the cliffs where the Raxer nested, the Federation team was both awed and skeptical. Orin called out, and the mighty creature swooped down, landing gracefully. Its eyes radiated intelligence, and its scaled body gleamed in the light. "Impressive," Artus admitted, his initial skepticism softening. "But what good is it if it cannot follow commands?" Orin turned to the creature, whispering in their ancient language. The Raxer responded by bowing its head, allowing Orin to place his hand against its massive neck. The Elysians and the Raxer shared a bond that transcended mere commands. "Raxer chooses its allies," Orin said. "We do not command it, we are partners." Captain Artus felt a flicker of respect, but he still believed in the Federation's might. "Let's see if it will defend you. Summon a threat." Just then, a rustling in the bushes caught everyone's attention. From the forest emerged a group of deadly-kerns, creatures that thrived on chaos and destruction. They were known for wiping out whole villages, and the Federation team immediately shifted into defensive formation, raising their weapons. Orin raised his hand to calm them. "We don't need to fight," he said, stepping forward. The Raxer growled softly, sensing the rising tension. "Stay back!" Artus yelled, aiming his weapon at the kerns. "You're wasting time. We need to eliminate them." But Orin stood firm. "No, we let life teach us, not destruction." As the kerns approached, ready to attack, the Raxer stepped forward, its wings outstretched. Orin's heart raced. He trusted the creature to protect its home, knowing it could easily defeat the kerns if it chose to. Instead, something remarkable happened. The Raxer roared fiercely, sending a sound that echoed through the valley. The kerns halted, confused. Orin spoke a few calming words, not to the kerns but to the Raxer. The creature understood, and instead of attacking, it flew above the cairns, creating a powerful wind that knocked them back towards the forest. To everyone's surprise, the cairns retreated, no longer a threat. Captain Artis's mouth dropped open. "How did you do that?" "It is not just about brute force," Orin explained. "Sometimes, it is more powerful to guide rather than destroy." The Federation crew watched in disbelief. They had arrived with notions of superiority, but the people of Elysium had shown them another way. Captain Artis and his team began to understand that true strength lay not in domination but in coexistence. As the sun began to set, bathing the land in warm hues, Artis pondered deeply. He knew that the Federation's mission was to conquer and extract, yet here was an entire civilization thriving without those methods. Their strength lay in love and loyalty to their land and creatures. "I think we have much to learn from you," Artis finally said, lowering his weapon. Orin smiled. "We are not primitive, Captain. We are simply different. Every creature and person has worth. Our greatest triumph is peace, not war." The Federation team shared a look of renewed respect for the Elysians. Perhaps it was time to go back to their home and spread the lessons learned. They had come for conquest, but instead, they had uncovered the beauty of unity and understanding. The Raxer settled beside Orin, and as the team watched, the creature let out a gentle cry, a sound of triumph, friendship, and hope for a future where differences were celebrated, rather than scorned. And in that moment, they came to realize, they were the ones who had been saved from the monsters within themselves, monsters they had chosen not to kill. They called us primitive. Until we showed them the monsters we chose not to kill. The year is 2742. The Sol Federation, a sprawling galactic empire, discovered us, the people of Xylos, nestled on a remote planet, seemingly untouched by advanced technology. We lived in harmony with nature, our lives dictated by the rhythms of the seasons and the wisdom of our ancestors. We built our homes from living trees, our clothes from woven vines, and our tools from carefully shaped stones. To them, we were primitives. Their arrival was a spectacle of flashing lights and booming sounds. Giant metal birds descended from the sky, disgorging beings clad in shimmering suits. They spoke a language that sounded like crackling fire, but their intentions, as far as we could gather from their gestures, were not immediately hostile. Among us was Illyra, a young woman known for her sharp wit and even sharper eyes. She was chosen, along with 3 others, the elder Theron, the skilled hunter Kalen, and the gentle healer Lyra, to meet these newcomers. The initial interactions were fraught with misunderstandings. Simple gestures were misinterpreted, and attempts at communication were often met with confusion. The Sol Federation representatives, led by Commander Jax, were baffled by our seemingly effortless connection with the natural world, our deep understanding of the land, and our peaceful existence. They saw our lack of advanced technology as backwardness, our simple lives as a sign of intellectual inferiority. They called us primitives, the word hanging heavy in the air, a testament to their condescending attitude. They offered us advanced technology, medicine, and knowledge, a path to progress, as they called it. But Illyra, Theron, Kalen, and Lyra sensed something else in their offer, something hidden beneath the veneer of benevolence. Jax's eyes, Illyra noticed, held a calculating glint, a subtle hint of something sinister. One evening, under the glow of Xylos's twin moons, Illyra shared her concerns with the others. "They are not as benevolent as they seem," she whispered. "Their technology, it feels wrong. There's a coldness to it." Theron, his face etched with the wisdom of ages, nodded slowly. "Our ancestors spoke of the shadow creatures, beings from beyond the stars who prey on worlds, draining them of their life force. I fear these beings, they are similar." Their fears were confirmed days later when a scouting party from the Sol Federation encountered the Grayugs. Grayugs were creatures of nightmare, massive beasts with razor-sharp claws and teeth, eyes that burned with malevolent energy. They were the guardians of Xylos, the reason why our planet remained untouched by external forces for so long. Our ancestors had learned to coexist with them, understanding their ways, respecting their power, and keeping a safe distance. The Sol Federation, with their advanced weaponry, engaged the Greyugs in a fierce battle. Their superior technology initially gave them the upper hand. But the Greyugs, more numerous and resilient than anticipated, overwhelmed the Sol Federation forces. Several of their advanced machines were destroyed, and their soldiers sustained heavy casualties. This is when we showed them our primitive ways. We didn't fight the Greyugs. We didn't try to kill them. Instead, Illyra, drawing upon ancient Xylos knowledge, led a group towards the Greyugs' lair, carrying offerings of herbs and rare fruits. We approached them with reverence, a gesture of peace and understanding. The Greyugs, startled by this unexpected display of respect, reacted cautiously. They didn't attack. Slowly, cautiously, they accepted our offerings, and a tense truce settled between the two species. The Sol Federation representatives, witnessing this, watched in stunned silence. Commander Jax, initially furious at our inaction during the initial Greyug attack, was now filled with a strange blend of awe and fear. He'd seen technology fail where respect and understanding had triumphed. He'd witnessed a people he deemed primitive not only surviving but thriving alongside creatures he'd classified as monstrous. Lyra, our healer, then stepped forward. She demonstrated how we treated our wounded and sick, not with advanced medical technology, but with natural remedies, a deep understanding of the healing power of plants and nature. This astonished the Sol Federation medics, who were accustomed to relying entirely on machines. Kalen, our hunter, showed them how we hunted for food, always taking only what we needed, leaving enough for the animals and the land to sustain itself. He spoke of sustainability and respecting the intricate balance of the ecosystem. He showed them our methods of farming, where we nurtured the land instead of exploiting it. Over time, a grudging respect grew between the two civilizations. The Sol Federation learned from us, the primitives, how to live in harmony with nature, how to respect other species, and how to understand the delicate balance between progress and preservation. The way we chose not to kill, not to dominate, but to coexist, became a lesson they desperately needed to learn. Our simple lives, previously seen as a sign of backwardness, became a testament to our wisdom. Our lack of advanced technology was seen not as a deficiency but as a conscious choice, a testament to a different kind of progress, one that valued life, harmony, and understanding over dominance and conquest. The Sol Federation eventually left Xylos, forever changed by their encounter with us. They no longer viewed us as primitives, but as a beacon, a reminder that true progress lies not in technological advancement alone, but in a deep and profound respect for the intricate web of life. And we, the people of Xylos, continued to live in harmony with our planet, our guardians, and the memories of the day we showed the galaxy the monsters we chose not to kill. They called us primitive. Until we showed them the monsters we chose not to kill. The year is 2742. The Galactic Federation, a sprawling alliance of technologically advanced species, discovered us. We, the people of Xylos, lived a simple life on our lush, green planet, a world untouched by interstellar travel. We were, in their eyes, primitive. Our technology was rudimentary, our weapons, crude. They observed us for years, their advanced sensors documenting our lives, our rituals, our peaceful existence. They saw no reason to engage. We were quaint, a relic of a bygone era, a species on the brink of inevitable advancement, or perhaps, extinction. They called us backward, underdeveloped, primitive. They watched us from orbit, condescendingly. Among the Xylosian people lived a young woman named Illyra. She was known for her curiosity and sharp mind. Illyra was different. Unlike most of her people who were content with their simple lives, Illyra felt a pull toward the stars, a curiosity that the Federation's presence had ignited. She would often sit by the great whispering trees, ancient beings that seemed to hum with the planet's energy, wondering about the stars and the beings who watched them. One day, a shimmering object fell from the sky, crashing into the whispering woods. It was a small, damaged probe, a relic of the Federation's surveillance. Illyra, along with two of her friends, Kalen, a strong and practical hunter, and Theron, a wise elder known for his knowledge of ancient Xylosian lore, found it. Inside, they discovered images, recordings, and data, information about the Galactic Federation, their advanced technology, and their arrogant assessment of Xylosian civilization. They learned of the Federation's vast empire, its wars, and the many worlds they'd conquered. They were shocked to see themselves portrayed as insignificant, primitive. "They think us weak," Kalen said, his voice low with anger. "They think they can take what they want." Theron, his face etched with worry, said, "Perhaps we should leave them be. Intervention from the Federation could destroy our way of life." Illyra, however, saw an opportunity. The probe also contained information about a particularly dangerous creature, a creature the Federation had encountered on a faraway planet and failed to subdue, the Kryll. The Kryll were described as colossal, bioluminescent predators, creatures of immense power and aggression. They fed on energy, capable of draining life force from living organisms. The Federation's attempts to eradicate them had resulted in massive losses and a hasty retreat. "The Federation fears the Kryll," Illyra said, her eyes gleaming. "What if we use their fear against them?" Her friends were hesitant. The very idea of confronting such a powerful creature was terrifying. But Illyra's determination was infectious. She explained her plan. She knew of a secluded cave system, deep within the Whispering Woods, where ancient Xylosian texts spoke of a mythical creature, the Sylvani, a being said to possess the power to control the Kryll. Illyra believed this creature could be real, a key to turning the tide against the Federation. Their journey into the heart of the Whispering Woods was fraught with danger. They navigated treacherous terrain, avoided deadly predators, and deciphered ancient riddles hidden within the cave system. They faced moments of doubt and despair, but Illyra's unwavering belief pushed them forward. Finally, they found it, the Sylvani, a magnificent being composed of pure energy, its form shimmering like 1,000 stars. The Sylvani communicated not through words, but through emotions, a shared understanding that transcended language. It showed them the Kryll, not as savage monsters, but as creatures driven by instinct, misunderstood and threatened by the Federation's relentless pursuit. It revealed that the Kryll were not inherently malicious, merely desperate to survive. The Sylvani allowed Illyra and her friends to witness the Kryll in all its power and terrifying majesty, its bioluminescence illuminating the cavern. It showed them not just its power, but also its vulnerability, its loneliness in a hostile universe. They chose not to kill the Kryll. Instead, they learned to coexist. The Xylosians, with their profound respect for all life, discovered ways to communicate with the Kryll, to understand its needs, and to navigate their shared habitat. News of the Xylosians' unusual relationship with the Kryll reached the Galactic Federation. A massive fleet, poised to conquer Xylos, hesitated. They sent emissaries, their arrogance replaced by cautious respect. They had come to conquer a primitive species, only to discover a civilization capable of understanding and coexisting with one of the galaxy's most feared creatures. The Federation's leaders, witnessing the peaceful coexistence between the Xylosians and the Kryll, were humbled. Their initial assessment of Xylos as a primitive world had been drastically flawed. They had underestimated the Xylosian wisdom, their profound connection to nature, and their ability to find harmony even amidst the most dangerous circumstances. The Galactic Federation, once condescending and arrogant, now recognized Xylos as a society worthy of respect, a testament to the power of understanding, empathy, and a deep respect for all life. The primitives had shown them the true meaning of strength, not in conquest, but in compassion. They had shown them monsters, and shown them, too, that the monsters didn't have to be destroyed. In the distant future, on a lush planet called Noria, the inhabitants known as the Norans lived in harmony with nature. They were simple folk who respected all life forms, even the ones that many would deem monstrous. However, to the outside galaxy, they were often called primitive because they chose to coexist with their environment rather than dominate it. Nora was a bright young girl, curious about everything around her. She loved exploring the dense forests, where towering trees created a green canopy. One day, she ventured deeper into the woods than ever before, fascinated by the sounds and movements around her. As she walked, she stumbled across a hidden valley. It was filled with enormous plants and creatures, unlike anything she had seen before. There, she met Argon, a giant creature with bright blue scales and wings that shimmered in the sunlight. Argon was a draken, a species that the Norans revered. Unlike many, Nora did not see a monster but rather a guardian of the valley. They became friends, sharing moments of laughter and wonder. Nora learned that the drakons were misunderstood. Though they appeared fierce, they were gentle beings who protected the forests from dangers. Meanwhile, a fleet of spaceships from a nearby galaxy descended upon Noria. The inhabitants from these ships believed they were on a mission to civilize the planet. Commander Ixal, a stern and ambitious leader, stepped onto the lush ground, looking at the Norans with disdain. He saw their way of life as inferior and decided to show them the way of technology and power. The Norans were polite but wary. While they listened to Ixal, they could see that he did not understand their world. They cherished life, while he valued control. Nora watched all this unfold from a distance, her friendship with Argon giving her strength. The Draken had enormous power, but they had chosen to protect their home rather than use it. As Ixal and his crew began to establish a base, they started to clear the forests for their machines. Nora was devastated. She ran to find Argon, her heart racing. "We have to protect the valley. They don't know what they are doing," she cried. Argon looked worried. "We have to show them that we are not weak or primitive. We must show them the true power of Noria," he said with a rumble in his deep voice. Nora gasped, understanding what he meant. They had to make a stand. The next day, Nora gathered her friends from the village. Together, they approached Argon and his Draken family, asking for help to display their might. Argon seemed hesitant, but he understood that they needed to find a way to change Ixal's mind. With a nod, he agreed to lead the way. Nora and the Drakons planned carefully. They would not attack but instead demonstrate the power they could unleash if challenged. As dusk fell, they ventured toward the base of the newcomers. With a few simple calls, the Drakons flew into the sky, their wings casting shadows over the clearing. Nora stood bravely before Ixal and his crew. "You call us primitive, but we chose to live in harmony," she said softly but firmly. "We respect this land and its creatures. We ask you to respect it too." Ixal scoffed. "You think your monsters can scare us? We have weapons that can destroy everything in sight," he retorted, his gaze dismissive. At that moment, the Drakons landed behind Nora with a mighty thud, their presence immense. "Let us show you our true strength," Nora called out confidently. The Drakons roared, a sound that echoed through the valley, shaking the very ground beneath them. As the roar faded, strange shadows emerged from the forest. It was not only the Drakons, other creatures came to join them. Large, four-legged monsters with iridescent fur and sharp horns appeared, along with flying beasts and even tiny, glowing insects. They formed an impressive assembly, a reminder of the diverse life that thrived on Noria. Ixal and his crew stared, mouths agape. He had indeed underestimated the Norans and their connection with nature. "What is this real?" he stammered, looking around in horror and awe. "This is who we are," Nora said, her heart racing. And we choose to protect them, not destroy them. We invite you to learn from us, instead of conquering us. The tension hung in the air, thick and heavy. Ixal struggled with his pride. He had come to dominate but found himself humbled. He watched as the creatures of Noria moved with grace, their natural beauty undeniable. He slowly began to realize there was more power in cooperation and respect than in conquest. Days passed, and Ixal, his heart softened by the truth in Nora's words, began to change his approach. He and his crew started to learn from the Norans, studying their ways and the monsters they once feared. They learned to cultivate the land and understand the balance of life. The dark clouds of conflict faded, replaced by an unexpected alliance. Nora felt a sense of pride. What had once been a battle between culture turned into friendship. Together, they opened the doors to new ideas and cooperation, blending technology with nature. They developed sustainable solutions, using Ixal's technology to enhance the beauty of Noria without destroying it. In time, the aliens who once called the Norans primitive became allies, working together to protect the planet and its wonders. Noria flourished, a symbol of unity between different worlds. They had shown that true strength lies not in dominance, but in respect and understanding. And so, Nora, Argon, and the people of Noria taught others that the monsters they chose not to kill were not only guardians of their land but also vital threads in the intricate tapestry of life. They called us primitive. Until we showed them the monsters we chose not to kill. The year is 2742. Our people, the Sylvani, lived on Xylos, a lush planet hidden deep within the Andromeda galaxy. We were a peaceful people, living in harmony with nature. Our technology was simple, our lives uncomplicated. We built our homes from living trees, our clothes from woven vines, and our tools from carefully shaped stones and bone. We communicated through a series of melodic whistles and intricate dances. To the technologically advanced Zidonians, who discovered us, we were primitive. The Zidonians arrived in their sleek, silver ships, their bodies encased in shimmering suits. Their leader, a tall, slender being named Xyler, spoke in a voice that crackled with what we perceived as arrogance. He surveyed our village, his eyes wide with a mixture of curiosity and disdain. His people, he announced, were advanced, powerful, and would usher us into a new age. This new age involved converting our planet into a mining colony. Our leader, Illyra, a woman whose wisdom was matched only by her strength, looked at Xyler with calm, unwavering eyes. She spoke in our own language, the translator implant Xyler wore chirping its best interpretation. We are not primitives, Xyler, she stated clearly. We are Sylvani. We have lived on this planet for millennia, and we will not be displaced. Xyler laughed, a cold, sharp sound. Your quaint customs amuse me, little Sylvani. But the resources of your planet are needed. Resistance is futile. The negotiations were short. Xyler offered us trinkets, technology that we neither wanted nor understood. Illyra remained firm. Her refusal enraged Xyler, he threatened to use force. Illyra gave him a warning that echoed his own threat. That night, under the light of Xylos' twin moons, Illyra gathered her council. She spoke of the Grolak, creatures that lived deep within the Whispering Woods, creatures of immense power and unimaginable rage. These were not creatures we hunted for sport or survival. They were kept at bay, their immense power a secret known only to the Sylvani. We had learned to coexist with them through respect, a precarious balance maintained for centuries. The council debated. To reveal the Grolak was to invite certain destruction, not only of their village but potentially Xylos itself. Yet, to remain silent meant the destruction of their way of life at the hands of the Zidonians. The Grolak are our secret, said Theron, the village hunter, his voice heavy with worry, but our planet is our life. Illyra looked at them, her gaze piercing. We show them the Grolak, she declared. But we show them our Grolak. The ones we have chosen not to destroy, the ones we have learned to live with. The following day, Xyler's forces advanced on our village. They came prepared, their weapons gleaming in the sunlight. They expected little resistance from the primitive inhabitants of Xylos. They were horribly mistaken. We didn't fight them directly. Instead, Illyra led them to the edge of the Whispering Woods. She pointed towards the dense, shadowy undergrowth, where the Grolak stirred. As Xyler's soldiers advanced, something shifted in the woods. A low growl rumbled through the air, growing into a deafening roar. The ground trembled. Immense creatures emerged from the shadows, their forms a terrifying blend of muscle, bone, and shadow. Their eyes glowed with an eerie luminescence. The Grolak weren't the mindless beasts the Sylvani knew how to control. These were the Grolak in full, unrestrained fury. They were the nightmares the Sylvani had kept at bay, and the Zidonians, with their superior technology, were completely unprepared. Their sophisticated weapons were useless against the sheer power and ferocity of the Grolak, who tore through their ranks with terrifying ease. Xyler watched in horror, his face draining of color. The invasion force was decimated within minutes. The Grolak, satisfied with their demonstration, retreated back into the shadows. The woods fell silent, except for the chilling echo of the Zidonians' screams and the crackling of their disintegrating technology. Xyler, spared by Illyra's intervention, approached her, his arrogance utterly gone. Fear mixed with a grudging respect shone in his eyes. He spoke, his voice a low whisper. We will leave. We will not return." Illyra watched as his silver ship ascended, leaving behind only the wreckage of his broken army. The Grolak's presence became a chilling testament to the Sylvanese power, a silent warning to any who would dare to underestimate the power of a people in harmony with the world around them. Their so-called primitive ways included the subtle art of controlling the untamed, an art much more sophisticated than any weapon the Zidonians possessed. They were no longer viewed as primitives, the Zidonians learned they were something far more formidable. The story of the Grolak became a legend, told and retold through generations of Sylvani. It was a reminder that true strength lay not only in technological advancement, but in understanding, respect, and the wise stewardship of the natural world. And so, the Sylvani continued to live peacefully on Xylos, their secret held close, their existence a living testament to their strength and wisdom. The whispers of the Grolak, and the respect they inspired, served as the strongest defense the Sylvani ever needed. The Grolak remained a silent guardian of Xylos, reminding all who would venture close, that some battles are best left unfought, and some monsters better left undisturbed. The Sylvani had found a way to coexist with them, and in their coexistence, they found their truest strength. In the year 3023, Earth had become a distant memory for many. Humans had spread to countless planets in the galaxy, forging new lives among the stars. One such colony was Avalon, a vibrant world rich in flora and fauna. Its inhabitants were descendants of Earth's last explorers, and they lived simply, in tune with nature. The people of Avalon were proud of their way of life, far removed from the technology-driven lifestyles of other human colonies. They hunted for food, gathered fruits, and lived in harmony with the creatures of the forests. However, most of the galaxy saw them as primitive. The Council of Advanced Civilizations often spoke of Avalon with disdain, labeling its people as ungrateful savages who turned their backs on progress. Among these people lived a young girl named Lyra. She had wild curls of dark hair and bright, curious eyes. Lyra loved exploring the forest and often spent hours watching the animals and plants. She felt a deep connection with the world around her and believed that every creature had a story to tell. One day, while exploring deeper into the woods than she had ever dared before, Lyra stumbled upon a hidden glade. In the center stood a massive, ancient tree that seemed to touch the sky. The tree was covered in glowing vines that shimmered in shades of blue and purple. As she approached, Lyra sensed something powerful about this place. Suddenly, she heard a low growl coming from behind the tree. Startled, Lyra turned to see a creature emerging from the shadows. It was like nothing she had ever seen. Standing nearly 10 feet tall, the creature had glistening scales, soft emerald eyes, and horns like twisted vines on its head. Lyra felt both fear and wonder. The creature, sensing her presence, spoke in a deep, resonating voice. "Do not be afraid, child. I am Karuk, guardian of the ancient forest." Lyra, surprised that the creature could speak, took a step back. "Why are you here? What do you guard?" Karuk sat down, his massive form suddenly appearing calm. "I protect this land from those who do not respect it. You humans have taken much from this world. But some chose to remain, to live in peace with nature, like you." Lyra's heart raced. She could feel a connection with Karuk. "I want to protect this place too. But others think I am just a primitive girl." Just then, a loud roar echoed through the forest. Lyra's heart sank as she recognized the sound. It was the roar of a hellhound, one of the deadliest creatures known to haunt Avalon. Meanwhile, the council from the advanced colonies had heard rumors of beasts on Avalon that needed control. "Lyra, we are in danger," Karuk said urgently. "The hellhound will bring destruction. You must choose, fight it or run away." Lyra felt a wave of determination flow through her. This was her home, and she would not let it be destroyed. "I will fight it," she declared. With Karuk by her side, they prepared for the battle. She knew that this was a crucial moment. If they defeated the Hellhound, they could show the galaxy that they were not just primitive people. They were protectors of their world. As the Hellhound charged into the glade, flames flickering from its mouth, Lyra and Karuk stood firm. The creature was fearsome, but Lyra felt empowered. She remembered the stories she had learned from the elders about the creatures and how they were not just foes but guardians in a vast cycle of life. "Karuk," she shouted above the roar of the Hellhound. "We can't just kill it. We must make it understand." Karuk nodded, ready to follow her lead. As the Hellhound lunged forward, flames blazing, Lyra took a deep breath and raised her hands. "Stop!" she called out. "We mean no harm." To her surprise, the Hellhound hesitated. Its fierce eyes locked onto hers, and for a fleeting moment, confusion washed over its face. Karuk bolstered her words. "You are not our enemy. We are guardians of this land." Slowly, the Hellhound stepped back, flames dimming as its growl softened. Lyra felt the energy of the forest intertwining with her own. The glowing vines from the ancient tree began to pulse, surrounding them with a protective light. It was then that the most remarkable event occurred. As if realizing the truth in Lyra's words, the Hellhound transformed. Its fierce exterior melted away to reveal a magnificent beast that radiated a calming energy. The creature bowed its head to them, a show of respect. The battle was avoided. Instead of destruction, there was understanding. The forest thrummed with life. Together, they had shown that they could coexist in harmony, embracing their connection to each other and the world. Word spread quickly among the other villagers of Avalon about Lyra's bravery. When the Council of Advanced Civilizations came to evaluate the colony, they were shocked to find a community thriving in peace with their environment, protected by creatures once considered monsters. The representatives marveled at the transformation of the Hellhound and acknowledged that Lyra had chosen a path of harmony rather than violence. "You called us primitive," Lyra said boldly in front of the delegates. "But we have shown you that understanding is more powerful than weapons. We protect our home, and we choose to live with the monsters you fear." The council was silent, realizing that they had much to learn from this brave girl and her people. They had expected to see a colony filled with technology and industry, but found something far more valuable: wisdom, compassion, and a bond with nature. As the delegates left, they looked at Avalon with new eyes. Perhaps the true meaning of civilization was not found in machines or buildings, but in how beings, human or beast, chose to live together. And from that day forward, the people of Avalon were no longer seen as primitive. They were known as the Guardians of Harmony, a name that echoed throughout the galaxy. Lyra and Karuk continued to protect their home, reminding everyone that sometimes, it is the monsters you choose not to kill that can teach us the most.